Poetry Alive.
Thank you. You can't order a poem like you order a taco. Walk up to the counter and say,
I'll take 2.
and expect it to be handed back to you on a shiny plate.
Still, I like your spirit. Anybody who says,
Here's my address. Write me a poem.
deserves a reply. So I'll tell you a secret instead. Poems hide.
In the bottoms of our shoes, they are sleeping. They are the shadows drifting across our ceilings the moment before we wake up.
What we have to do is live our lives in a way that lets us find them. I once knew a man who gave his wife 2 skunks as a valentine. He didn't understand why she was crying.
I thought they had such beautiful eyes, he said, and he was serious. He was a serious man who loved in a serious way.
Nothing was ugly just because the world said it was so. He really liked those skunks, so he reinvented them as valentines, and they became beautiful.
At least to him. And the poems that had been hiding in the eyes of the skunks, crying for centuries, crawled out and curled up at his feet.
Maybe if we reinvent whatever our lives give us, we find poems.
Check your garage.
The odd sock in your drawer.
The person you almost lied, but not quite. And let me know. That was Valentine for Earnest Man by Naomi Shihab Nye. This next poem is a real classic, The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. The wind was a torrent of darkness among the gusty trees.
The moon was a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas.
The road was a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor.
When the highwayman came riding, a highwayman came riding up to the old inn door. He had a French cocked hat on his forehead and a bunch of lace at his chin, a coat of claret velvet and breeches of brown doeskin. They fitted with never a wrinkle. He had boots up to his thigh, and he rode with a jeweled twinkle. His pistol butts a twinkle, his rapier hilt a twinkle under the jeweled sky. Over the cobbles he clattered and clanged in the dark innyard, and tapped with his whip at the shutters.
But all was locked and barred.
He whistled a tune to the window.
And who should be standing there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair. And dark, in the dark old innyard, a stable wicket creaked.
When Tim the ostler listened, his face white and peaked, his eyes hollows of madness, his hair like moldy hay.
But he loved the landlord's daughter, the landlord's red-lipped daughter. Dumb as a dog he listened, and he heard the robber say,
One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'm after a prize tonight. But I'll be back with the yellow gold before the morning light. Yet if they press me sharply and harrow me through the day, look for me by moonlight. Watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way.
He stood upright in his stirrups. He scarce could reach her hand, but she loosened her hair on the casement.
His face burned like a brand as the black cascade of perfume came tumbling down his breast. He kissed its waves in the moonlight. Oh, sweet waves in the moonlight. And then he tugged on his reins in the moonlight and galloped away to the west.
He did not come in the dawning. He did not come at noon. And o'er the tawny sunset, before the rise of moon, when the road was a gypsy's ribbon looping the purple moor, a red-coat troop came marching. King George's men came marching up to the old inn door. They said not a word to the landlord. They drank his ale instead. But they gagged his daughter and bound her to the foot of her narrow bed. 2 of them knelt at her casement, with muskets at their side. There was death at every window, and hell at one dark window. For Bess could see through her casement the road that he would ride. They had tied her up to attention with many a sniggering jest. They had bound a musket beside her, the barrel beneath her breast. "Now keep good watch," and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say,
"Look for me by moonlight. Watch for me by moonlight. I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way."
She twisted her hands in the moonlight, but all the knots felt good. She writhed her hands till her fingers were wet with sweat or blood. They stretched and strained in the moonlight, and the hours crawled by like years. Till now, on the stroke of midnight, cold on the stroke of midnight, the tip of one finger touched it. The trigger at least was hers. The tip of one finger touched it. She strove no more for the rest. She stood up to attention with the barrel beneath her breast. She would not risk their hearing. She would not strive again, for the road lay bare in the moonlight, blank and bare in the moonlight, and the blood in her veins in the moonlight throbbed to her love's refrain.
Clop, 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 clop.
Had they heard it? The horse hoofs ringing clear?
Clop, 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 clop.
In the distance, were they deaf that they did not hear?
Down the ribbon of moonlight, over the brow of the hill, a highwayman came riding, riding, riding.
The redcoats looked to their priming. She stood up straight and still.
Clop, clop.
In the frosty silence.
Clop, clop.
In the echoing night.
Nearer he came, and nearer.
Her face was like a light. Her eyes grew wide for a moment. She drew one last deep breath. Then her finger moved in the moonlight. Her musket shattered the moonlight, shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death.
Back he spurred. He did not know whose head stood bowed over her own musket, drenched in her own red blood. Not to the dawn did he hear it. His face grew gray as he learned how best the landlord's daughter, the landlord's black-eyed daughter, had waited for her love in the moonlight and died in the darkness there. Back he cursed a shrieking curse to the sky, the white road smoking behind him, his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden noon. Wine red was his coat. As they shot him down on the highway. Down like a dog on the highway. And he lay in his blood on the highway, with a bunch of lace at his chin.
And still of a winter's night they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a gypsy's ribbon over the purple moor, when the moon is a ghostly galleon over the windy seas.
A highwayman comes riding, riding, riding. A highwayman comes riding up to the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clatters and clangs in the dark innyard, and taps with his whip at the shutters.
But all was locked and barred.
He whistles a tune to the window.
And who should be standing there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair.